Hello again. It's technically day 5, but I'm calling it day 3 since it's the third day on the road of my trek across Canada to Ottawa. I'm just leaving Winnipeg after having spent 2 nights here and with my cousins, and I just wanted to share a little bit about Winnipeg. I was doing a little bit of research kind of while I was living here, since I actually don't know too much about the province or Winnipeg in general, and so I thought I'd share a few things about what I learned. Winnipeg was for thousands of years. Winnipeg is located on an area known as the Two Forks, which is a kind of an area where the Assiniboine and Saskatchewan rivers meet up into one river, and the Red River we call it. And so its early settlements knew it as Red River, and for thousands of years, Indigenous peoples would come to the Forks to do business, make trades, have celebrations, ceremonies, kind of all that. Then over time, fur traders came, and the Forks turned into a gateway for fur traders to come to the Forks to trade with Indigenous peoples for fur, and in exchange they would bring guns, spices, all kinds of goods to sell to Indigenous peoples. Now, in previous videos, I had mentioned the Métis, and this is kind of where the Métis kind of emerge as a society. Like, they start playing an instrumental role in negotiations between white fur traders and Indigenous peoples, since they have a foot in both worlds. And they travel for thousands upon thousands of miles to make these trades. Now, the 1870s come along, and Canada is now a country, and we're wanting to open up expansion into the West for colonization, and so early settlers started settling in and around Winnipeg because it's already an established trading outpost, and it's kind of the first city in the West. But this creates a lot of tension with the Métis and Indigenous peoples living here, and so the Red River Rebellion breaks out, and government troops are sent to quell that. They're led by one Louis Riel, who I've mentioned previously, and the rebellion is basically stopped. Manitoba becomes a province in 1873 and is entered into confederation on Treaty 1 land. This is during the negotiation of the first treaty between the British Crown and the British Crown and the Indigenous peoples of the area. And the Métis are not recognized at this time as Indigenous. They don't meet the government's requirements for either being Indigenous or Inuit. So, they're forced to kind of left out of the negotiations. And obviously, I've talked about Louis Riel before. He flees to the States, later leads the Northwest Rebellion in Saskatchewan, Battle of Batoche, execution. He's actually, Louis Riel's body was actually brought from Regina to Winnipeg and buried in I forget the name of the cathedral, but it's buried in he's buried in a cathedral in Winnipeg, which I didn't know that before, and I thought was rather cool. So Manitoba. Let's talk a little bit about Manitoba. It's the last Canadian city in the West, or a better way to say it would be, it's the first Canadian city when you go to the West. Everything east of Winnipeg is, the east. Winnipeg is located in the geographic longitudinal center of the country, almost exactly. So yeah, like it's very like basically people in Saskatchewan consider it as part of the East. People in Ontario basically consider it a part of the West, and Winnipeggers are kind of left unknown by both entities. Because it's geographically in the center. But obviously to the east is Ontario in a couple hours. And then obviously to the west is Saskatchewan. And Saskatchewan looks like it has a nice long straight border along longitudinal lines, but there's actually hundreds of tiny corners and that actually make it quite crooked. If you happen to be looking at a map of Canada. Then to the north is Nunavut, which Nunavut is one of the 3 territories of Canada for the Inuit people. And basically, up till 1999, Nunavut was a part of the Northwest Territories, and then in 1999, it was split in half. So that Inuit people could have a territory of their own, for lack of better words. That's a massive oversimplification, but that's the general idea. To the south is the states of North Dakota and Minnesota, which is what I actually contemplated going through Minnesota today to get to my destination, because it would have only been about 20 minutes longer than the road I'm taking, and I could have gotten some very cheap gas, but I decided against it because I didn't want to deal with immigration and border enforcement today. So yeah, that's a little bit about the geography. It borders Lake Huron. It borders one of the Great Lakes, not the Great Lakes down in the Great Lakes region, but it borders Lake Winnipeg, which is considered one of the 7 Great Lakes of North America. It entirely encompasses Lake Winnipeg, which, if you might guess, is slightly north of Winnipeg. So, yeah. Most of northern Manitoba is much like Saskatchewan, forestry tundra. It's a permafrost, which means that underneath the layer of topsoil, subsoil is kind of just trying not to get killed by a truck. Okay, we're gonna drive. Just give me 1 second to safely merge and not die. Underneath, where was I? I was talking about subsurface permafrost in the soil. In the Northwest Territories, basically nothing. No crop. It's not arable land because underneath the first inch of soil is it's permanently frozen. So yeah, it's part of the Canadian Shield. It's very much like northern Saskatchewan. One thing of note in the north, however, is the port of Churchill, which is actually a place where my family has a connection to, in that my mother lived up there for several years when my grandfather was working for Transport Canada, as he was part of the Air Force, and then he was part of Transport Canada, and he was stationed up in Churchill. And Churchill is home to kind of one of the bigger ports in Canada, actually, right in the Hudson's Bay. It was built by the Canadian government, and then it became privately owned, and they actually recently just reopened the port to sell liquid natural gas out of in the next few years. And it's a really important port in Canada. It can hold up to It can hold the size of cargo ships that can go through the Panama Canal. So yeah, it's designed to kind of ship all these goods to, and we're hoping over the next few years that Churchill will become a really important trading hub again to sell liquid natural gas and oil and aluminium, tin, and copper to Europe, as we're trying to redirect a lot of our trade there. Yeah, like Churchill's probably going to become a lot more important than it already is. The capital of Manitoba is Winnipeg, and one final thing I should note is that Winnipeg is the coldest place in North America. Its lowest recorded temperature was in 1880 when it reached minus 52 degrees Celsius, which is a lot. I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit, but for the longest time, it was the coldest place on Earth. And then the capital of Mongolia eventually took over that particular honor, but it's still considered one of the coolest places on Earth. So I just wanted to share a little bit about the province. Again, I only have a cursory knowledge of it. It's not an area that I'm particularly familiar with because I'm not from Manitoba. And yeah, so I just thought I'd share with you and let you know where I was at. And I guess I'll catch you later when I cross into Ontario. Cheers.